Good morning, friends. Nice early one today. It's not 7 AM yet, and I've got up early because there's 2 guitars I want to get done for tomorrow, and I've got a really busy day today. I have a haircut booked, I have a lunch planned with friends, and I'm going to Battelle in Nottingham tonight, so I don't have a lot of time today. So without further ado, we'll just introduce you to the guitar. There you go, Epiphone Sheraton. Don't know what year it is. What year is it? Can't see a date stamp on there. Anyway, whatever. Oh, it's got a bit of icky sticky on the back of there I didn't know about. Some patch there. Anyway, why is this coming? Well, it's coming for a setup anyway, but pickups and this switch. Switch is intermittent, sometimes doesn't work, and this pickup's not working properly. I've just found that out. I haven't had it plugged in, so I'm going to just lay the guitar down. I'm going to move the camera in a second. I'm going to plug it in and you can see what's happening with the switching. It's got push-pull pots on both of the pickups. I imagine that's for coil splitting. Coil splitting doesn't appear to be working on the bridge pickup. Sometimes the bridge pickup does not work. In fact, I can give you a quick demonstration. This is bridge pickup. Push-pull pot. No sound difference at all. Make sure I'm not on the wrong going pot. So nothing's happening on the push-pull pot there. Middle position, both pickups working. And neck pickup. So push-pull is working on there. That's where the push-pull in. This will push-pull out. Hang on. That's out. That's in. Doesn't appear to be doing a lot anyway, either of them. So I'm going to have to oink all of the electrics out of the hole. These have to come out the F-hole. And I have to suss out what's happening. So I'm going to take the pick guard off. I'm going to move the camera, take the pick guard off. I'm going to have a look, see what's happening. Before I do that, I will test the setup itself. So I'll be testing the tuning, testing the intonation, checking the relief on the neck, blah, 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 blah. It just makes things easier for when I do a setup again later. So stay tuned. It's just about 7 AM. Back soon. Okay, so I've now determined that the push-pull or the coil split are working. And what we're going to do is, it's always better to try these with the volume turned down a bit because you'll hear a bit more. So on the bridge pickup, on neck pickup, turn volume down. So the coil splits are working. I don't see why you want coil splits in these type of guitars, but some people do. So the coil splits are working fine, which is really good news because these pots, the coil split pots in here, they're huge because they have a small PCB soldered on the side as well, and I would really struggle getting those out of this F-hole here. But I still need to release this pot at least, and probably this one, just so I can pull the 3-way selector out enough to get it out of the hole and solder a new one on. Just feel a bit flimsy that, but it is an Epiphone one. But the owner has told me he wants it swapping out, so I'm going to go with one of the ones I got from Northwest Guitars. So it's exactly what I'm going to do. And that's what I do here. I do what I'm asked to do. So I'm going to remove the moment. I'm missing a screwdriver. I've just used it over here, so it should be, here it is, it's on this table. Going to remove the pick guard, or scratch plate, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to oink some hardware out of the F-hole, hopefully not all of it, because getting these back in can be a real bind. And I do have a few methods I use. That's out of the way. Not going to pull these out yet. I'm first going to check the intonation on the guitar. I'm going to do a setup with the old strings on, and then when it comes to doing the new setup, oh, someone's pulled a fret out here. There's some chips in that fret there, behind that fret. Anyway, whatever. Once I do put the new strings on, the setup should be more or less where I need it to be. The nut slots seem to be cut pretty nice. Bit of grime on this. Need to go clean on the fingerboard. I'll show you the chips in the 20. It's about 20 frets. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21st fret. And let me count these frets. 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 fret of here. So it's around about the 20th fret, like I said. So with the strings, old strings on, just got to check the intonation, see where we are, because I'm putting the same gauge of string on anyway. Should be a little bit flat at the moment because I've laid it down. That's sharp. Let's get these volumes up here. The strings have had it. Anyway, let's try 12th fret. Bang on. Intonation D sharp, D is sharp, so let us lengthen the string on that one. We're going to move the saddle away from an opposite end of the neck, so we're going to move it towards the, that's wrong, wrong screwdriver. We're going to move it, we're going to lengthen it, so we're going to move it towards the bridge. So I would say 2 or 3 turns on this one. Okay. Perfect. Quite a lot of wear on the fingerboard on this guitar as well. So let's add some play this one. G's good. B, very good. Flat. So by rights we're supposed to move that saddle towards the neck, but it won't go any more towards the neck by the looks of that. So that is as much adjustment as we can give it. So that really is a shame. It's Gibson Epiphone again, and I've had this on a few guitars in the past. There's not enough adjustment to get the intonation right. We'll go as close as we can. Nowhere near. No, that is one notch flat. Nothing you can do about that. I can't adjust that anymore. It would mean taking that peg out, re-drilling, plugging it and re-drilling and moving the bridge that way. And we're not doing that. It's too much. It is a tiny bit out. All the other strings are absolutely perfect, so there's nothing we can do about that. We're just going to leave it. Right, I'm going to get the strings off. I'm going to clean up all the hardware. We're going to look at the neck, look at the frets, and I'm going to just slightly reset the camera. I'm going to come back, we're going to go across the frets with a fret rocker, then we're going to check the frets for level, then we're going to oik this three-way out. Hopefully we've got a bit of leeway in the wire. We can pull it out without pulling anything else out. Back soon. Okay, so I've loosened the strings. I'm just going to cut these strings straight off. These strings are no good at all. We've had it. Sometimes I would, if I get a decent set off a incoming guitar, I normally save them and use them as a mock setup on something I'm working on, just so I don't knacker a new set of strings. But these are no good at all. So we're just going to oik these out and put them straight in the bin. And what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to check, well, we've just levelled the neck. I've just altered the truss rod ever so slightly. It's a two-way truss rod on these Sheratons, which is good news. You don't normally get a two-way truss rod on a Gibson type guitar, but you do on these Epiphones. So the good thing about that is I've altered the truss rod ever so slightly just to get the neck level. And the neck is just a little bit over level. We've got a bit of back bow in there, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn it back. Normally you can just let the strings off and you've got enough in there. Right, we'll let the truss rod right off, that's loose. Normally you can just loosen the strings and that's it, you're fine. One thing that concerns me about this is a lot of wear on these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, first 5, 6, 7, 8 frets. And that shouldn't happen on a guitar that's not that old. Saying that, I don't know how old this guitar is. Okay, still a little bit of bow in there. So now we're going the truss rod, actually tighten it the other way. I'm going the wrong way there. No, that's levelling out. One more time, let's have a look. Right, we now have a neck. A little bit of back bow still. I went the wrong way there. Right, okay, let's go back, give it one turn that way. That seems to feel a little bit better. Right, we've got that neck dead straight. Just give it a couple of seconds just to settle. Beautiful. That neck is now dead straight. That's great. Okay, so let's get a fret rocker. 4 different lengths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Milled perfectly flat, laser cut this one. We do 3 frets at a time. If we get a rot, it means the middle one is high. Already fret 2 is high, as is fret 4, as is 6, that's 3, 4, 5, so we need a fret level 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 frets are high. This guitar needs a complete fret level, so it's not going to be a 10-minute job anyway. It's not going to be done tomorrow either. I'm going to contact Andy, let him know his guitar needs a fret level. It will be only an extra £25 on top of what he's paying, but we're not going to be able to do anything without getting these frets level anyway. I will move the camera in a moment. We'll get the fret level checker up. We'll get the not straight edge on there. We'll show it the neck straight, and I'll go across and we'll rock all of the frets, and then we'll let Andy know that it needs a fret level. Okay, this small part of the video is just for the benefit of the owner, Andy, who I have texted and let him know that this guitar needs a fret level. And just to show it needs a fret level, we have taken a notched straight edge, which is perfectly flat. We've placed it along the fingerboard, and we have got the neck absolutely straight. There's no gap under this notched straight edge at all. So now we've determined we've got the neck straight. What we're going to do is we're going to check the frets. And we check the frets by means of a fret rocker, which is this tool here, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 edges. This is the expensive version. This is one that is laser cut. These edges are perfectly flat. 15 quid these are. It's not your £5 tat off eBay. I've had this one for years, and the reason it has 4 different lengths is so we can check 3 frets at a time. And as we come along the fingerboard, we spin it over, and as we get shorter and shorter, so we're always doing just 3 frets. And the reason we do 3 frets is if one is high, we get a rock. If we get a rock somewhere on a fret, we mark it with a marker pen, so we know exactly where we need to level. So we're going to go across, and we do 3 sections. We do the centre, we do the far side, or the near side to you, and the near side to me, which is the far side to you. So we're going to start straight away, number 2. You can hear it rocking, it's just rocking in the middle. So we're going to mark that in the middle. Then we're going to do it with all of the frets. 4. Just rocking in the middle. 5 just on this edge. So we've already got 3 frets in the first 5. 6 on the far side, that's 4 frets out of 6 so far. I've already told Andy that it needs a complete fret level. If it's got 6, 7, 8, 9 frets need attention, there's another just on that edge. I can't just work on that fret because it's going to affect that side and that side next to it, so it's best to just skim across the whole lot with a levelling beam, and it's really the only way to do it properly. If it was only 4 or 5 frets, I could do them by hand. Again, a little bit high on that edge. The edges aren't that bad. Fret 12 all the way across. On the edge, in the middle, fret 14, middle and edge. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, already got 8 frets. Fret 15, same, just in the middle, already got 9 there. I did tell Steve 9, but that was just a quick check with the camera at the other angle. Now I've got the neck absolutely straight. Again, on that edge, that's already 10 frets. So, in the middle, I don't even know how old this guitar is. On the far edge and on the near, 2 edges on this one. And the last fret doesn't matter if it's high, even though it is, because this fret doesn't matter because it's the last one, so there's nothing it can buzz on, so that's fine. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 frets with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 high spots over 12 frets. And what we're going to do is we're going to go across again. We're just going to check that the neck is straight, which I know it is. I'm going to pull a light behind it, so we know there's no funny business happening. And shouldn't be any light shining through. You may see a tiny bit coming through the gap, but not from underneath. So there you go, the neck is absolutely straight. Fret rocker. And I'm going to number the 16 high spots, so I'm going to go across all 16. 1, 2, 3, should be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 high spots over 12 frets. The only way to level these frets is to take a leveling beam like this, which I need to sandpaper. We're going to get some tape on there, we'll get some sandpaper on there, 400 grit one side, 240 grit this side. These edges are milled absolutely flat. I was paid to have these milled properly. 16-inch bar, and what we'll do is once we've got sandpaper on there, we're going to go across the whole lot Then we're going to level the whole lot, and once that's done, we will go across with a radius block, probably a 14 inch, I think it might be a 12 on this, but we'll take a radius block with some sandpaper on it again, and we will just make sure that the radius is matched all the way along the length of the neck. It is a long-winded process because once that is done, we need then to, when we've flattened the frets, we need to re-crown them, which takes a while. Then we need to polish them with 6 different grits of sandpaper. You go in finer and finer each time to remove all of the scratches and to put a nice shine on there. So we have no choice. Fret level, I would much sooner be doing a setup than a fret level, because a setup, 75 quid, takes me 2.5 hours. A fret level is 100 quid and it takes me 5 hours. So anyway, there you go, Andy. This guitar needs a fret level. So that is it. Back soon. Okay, just a quick one. I'm removing the original 3-way selector. You'll see I have everything protected using various cloths. There's enough wire just pulling out of this F-hole without me having to remove any of the pots. So what I've done is I've got a mole grip on the wire to stop it moving. I've already unsoldered these 3 wires, and I'm going to attempt to unsolder the earth wire, which might take a bit of doing because there's a lot of solder on there. I need to get it pretty hot, and that is not gone through, by the way. That is just soldered to the outside of this lug, and I'm probably going to do the same when I put it in the guitar. But let's just see if we can get this hot enough to get it to pop off. Temperature of the soldering iron was at 350 odd degrees. I've just turned it up to 400, and I'm going to be patient. Turn it right up. Turn it right up to 460 because we're going to need to get a lot of heat in there. I'll just pull these out of the way, and it shouldn't take too long to heat up. Once it's hot enough, the solder will flow and this will pop straight off. You can see why I've got some cloth over the guitar body. I don't want to drop any hot solder on there. And there you go, we're now getting some heat in there. There you go, and that's off. And that is it. So it's just a matter of putting the new one on there. I'm going to get some real heat in there. I would like a little bit more bare wire to do this, but I don't have any, so I'm going to have to do it as is. So I'm going to get the new 3-way, which I've already swapped over the tip because I could only buy them with a black tip. So I've swapped it over. I need a cream tip version. It will be in here. There you go. There it is. Here's the new one. I've swapped the tips over. I'm going to be sticking this one in there. And once that's done, we can move on to the neck and we'll get the frets sorted out. So, new switch in. Here's the old Epiphone one out. I'm going to keep hold of that. Looks fine to me. Just testing the pickups in the middle. Bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Neck off. Bridge on. Bridge off. Neck on. Right, I'm going to move on to getting the frets levelled. So, it's Monday. It's a little bit later than planned, but I'm ready to start levelling these frets. And I did show you the levelling beam last week, and I've now got it all papered up, ready for levelling. It is basically an 18-inch or 16-inch steel beam, 2-inch by 1-inch, with both sides or both edges milled completely flat. I've got 240 grit on that side, 400 grit on that side, and I'm going to remove the main material with the 240 grit, which is coarse. And once that's done, I'm going to smooth it off with the 400 grit. And it's just a matter of following the radius of the neck, backwards and forwards motion. We're not going to remove more in the middle than we do at the ends, like some people say. We're not putting any pressure on this levelling beam, we're just letting the weight of the beam do the work. And what we'll do is every now and again we will buff it off and just go and check the frets for level. I can see the ones I've already started levelling, and that's getting level there already. We're already getting there. Still a bit high there. Yeah, we're getting there. It's fantastic. Oh, still a bit high. It doesn't take a lot of work because the weight of a bar will do the work. Still on this edge we need a bit more work. And what we tend to do is we'll take a pen. Doesn't matter what colour. I've got a black one, I've got a blue one. And what I'll do is all the ones that don't need levelling I'll colour in blue. All the ones that do need some levelling I'll colour in black. We'll know where we are, and once we start taking blue off we know frets around them are getting level. Getting quite a lot of black ones up that end. So there you go. And once we start, what we're going to do with the black is just mark the black where we need frets levelling, not the whole area. That one was all the way across, wasn't it? That one there, that one there, that one there. Oh, I did the 400 grit there. I should have been doing the 240. Anyway, let's go back. Start again. Now we're really removing material. I can feel it. And when I get to this stage where I am right now, the material has been removed from all over the fingerboard, which I can see. I'll be checking more with the fret level, just a little bit there. And I think we're just about where we need to be. Let's take a fret rocker, go across all of the frets, and I would think we're pretty much level now. Levelling them doesn't take a lot of work, it's the recrowning and the polishing that's going to take the gist of the work today. I would think I'm going to have another 3 hours on this afternoon to get it all finished. And this is the thing, this is the difference between having a fret level and having an intensive setup. An intensive setup I'd be expecting no more than 2.5 hours. Fret level 4 or 5 hours, maybe 5 hours. Right, that one's still a little bit high there. So we'll just keep Am I going to create any fall off toward this end? I don't think I am. You don't need to do it on all guitars. I don't do it on every job anyway. There you go, that's nice. And that is it, we have the frets level. Just go back and check down this end again. The frets on our level. So what we need to do now is we'll go across with a radius block in a moment. So we're going to pen all of the frets. I'm going to go across with the 400 grit first, just to smooth off the frets. I might even just go with a radius block. I do believe it's a 12-inch radius on it. If I'll check anyway. It's going to be a 12 or a 14. I'm thinking probably a 12. And going across with a radius block will mean we keep the same radius along the whole length of the neck of the frets. I have a 12, a coated 12 at the moment. Not quite sure. I do have a 9.5. Here's a 12. It'll have no paper on it. I'm more or less guarantee it. It's got no paper on it. Okay. Take the 12 from the box. 9, 14, 12 with no paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 12-inch radius block, like so. Some paper I've already used, and all I'm going to do is put the radius block over the fingerboard. And we are just going to that's not quite long enough, but what I'm going to do is just forward the grip the whole length of the neck, all the pen is removed. So we have maintained that radius along the whole length. And that is all of the pen gone. Fantastic. So, wow, a lot of dust here. Not only have we levelled the frets, we've also maintained the radius. Was it even a 12? I don't know, I just assumed it was a 12. 12-inch radius gauge. Yes, it was a 12. There was never any doubt in my mind. And why would there be? 12-inch radius, so we've got all the frets radius to 12 as well. That's fantastic. So now what we've done is, I'm just going to check the frets again. What we've done now is we have flattened the tops of these frets, all of them, and we need to put that arc back in, or the crown, that way. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. I'm just going to check the frets one more time. Make sure we are level. I know we are. I've done this job that many times. And the levelling beam there, one I've just levelled the frets will be good for about 5 or 6 jobs before I need to change that paper again. But what I'm going to do on this part as well, the video, I'm going to show you how to crown frets. So it's going to be quite a long video, this one. But I wasn't expecting to be doing a fret level on this, I was just expecting to do an intensive setup. Now I do know the owner of this guitar and the other 2 guitars he bought in has 3 more guitars for me, and I think he's bringing them tomorrow. I don't know what they are. I know one is a Les Paul copy, I don't know what it is, I don't know if it's a Gibson or what, but that's going to need some work I would imagine. We'll find out, won't we? So there you go, that is the frets level. So what I'm going to do now is got to just concentrate on this area, and I'm going to bring the guitar closer to the camera, and you're going to see me crown frets. And because I'm overlapping the protective area there, I'm just going to do this one, which you should be able to see, and I'm going to explain how I do it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the whole top in marker pen. And because the top of this fret is now flat and I need to rebuild that crown, like so, I'm going to shave off each edge of that fret using a 3-cornered file. Go down to my second drawer, which is where I have my levelling files, my crowning files. I'm not going to need a levelling file because they don't need levelling. I know they are level, but what I'm going to do is we're just going to remove material from the edge of the fret, not from the top. So if I could explain, I have a beautiful 3-edge file. You see, kind of get the shape of it there, and these edges are ground smooth. So when I come across to file this, I can't cut into the tape or to the fingerboard, or more importantly the fingerboard. And what I'm going to do is, we have a cutting edge, and this is a really quite a fine file, and what I'm going to do is I'm on the far side of the fret now. As I go over the fret, I'm going to start vertical, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to gradually arc the file toward the fret, starting to build up that crown. I'm going to do it on the far side first, and when I come to this side I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to arc the file away from the camera and build that crown. And when I've got a thin line down the centre of the fret, I'll be looking for around about just under half a millimetre, I would have built up that crown. And the crown it means we're going to have less string contact on the top of the fret. I'd like it to contact around about 0.4 millimetres of the fret. And it's a really simple method. And it's hardly cutting because it's horizontal at the moment, but when I start to arc it towards the camera, it will start to cut and we'll start to build up that crown. And it's a one-way cutting file, so it cuts when I push. I'm now come the opposite side. I'm going to just arc away. And again, gone back to the far side, and that is it. And I now have a thin black line down the centre of that fret. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to wipe file, ready for the next one. I'm going to take my profiling file or a crowning file, and that has a groove in there which is already matched to the fret. And it's just a matter of going across the top just to remove any burrs. And that is it. And I have now reshaped that file, and if I really wanted to I could go with my diamond profiling file, real fine cut on there, and just to finish off, that's quickly how to do it. Always clean the file, especially with diamond one. You do a wet wipe and a dry wipe, and that's ready for the next fret. And that is it. I've already done one. Now this fret will be really scratched up, it will need polishing, but we have recrowned it. We've built up this beautiful semicircular shape on the edge there. And what I need to do is, as always, just check it's still level with those frets around it, and go back one and go forward one. But the thing is, if I've done my job right and I've kept that black line down the centre, we're not removing any height at all, we're just removing the edges just to create that crown. So I've got one done. I have 21 more to do. That is really going to take me a while, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to tape up this side of the guitar so we don't cut into it with the file like so, because we could possibly knock into there. We don't want to be doing that. But like I say, I'm just going to pen all these frets. I'm going to recrown a lot, and when I come back we can move on to the polishing. Okay, frets levelled, frets recrowned, moving on to the polishing. I'm not going to show you the polishing, but I'm just going to explain what I do. And here I have 6 pieces of sandpaper, various gradients from 600 through to 2000. So we've got 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500 and 2000. And they are finer and finer grits. The 5 I use for polishing from 800 to 2000. The 600 grit I mainly use just for rounding over the edges of the frets or the bevels, like so, blah 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 blah, and it just softens these edges where I've recrowned. It just softens the bevels, and it's just a matter of going across the whole length of the guitar. Once that is done, with all 6 grits of paper, including what I've got left of the 600, we will be polishing the frets, and we polish not just to get a shine, we polish to remove all the scratches. Now I've already been over with some steel wool, finest grade steel wool, grade 0000, and I go at the edge of the bevels. But I go across this way, then what I do is I go this way, across but all of the frets. And what that will do is it will put scratches in this way. And what I attempt to do with sandpaper is remove the small scratches this way, and we'll polish that way. And what we'll do is we'll go over the top, and once we've gone over the top, we'll get right into the corners on the back side, and over, and right into the corners, pressing right in here to get it all the way in on the fret, and then again across the top. And that way we're removing the scratches, then we're bringing it to a shine. And I'll be doing that mainly with these 5 grits from 800 to 2000. Like I say, this one's just for doing the beveling with 600 grit. And I'll also copy, or I'll redo this beveling with the finer grits later on, especially I'll do it with the 800 and maybe with the 1000, but that will be enough. We just need to take off those sharp edges, that's it. It gets much easier as you get past the vise. There you go. And I'll just go across this way now. And you see how it works. And anyway, I'm going to crack on. It's going to take me a couple of hours this, but once it's all done, I'll finish off polishing with steel wool just to bring the shine right out, and we can move on and get the setup done. There we go, just finishing up on polishing the frets. I've been through with 6 different grits of sandpaper. I've just finished off with steel wool, just got this last couple. It's just a matter of going across the top, getting right into the corners, scooting across the top, and I guarantee that these frets look fantastic. In fact, I know they do. I've had my magnifying specs on and I've had a close look and they look brilliant. So there they are, all done. Just see if you can get any benefit from this glass. Maybe I'll give you a bit of a better idea. But yeah, these are now scratch free and glass like, absolutely beautiful. So all I've got to do now is get the tape off, go back onto the bench, get some strings on, get the guitar set up, and we will be ready to go. So guys, we're right at the back end of having this guitar finished, and I've just cleaned the guitar, polished the guitar, I've oiled the neck, the frets are finished. I'm going to show you the frets in a second, and I'm about to glue the nut back on in a moment, but what I want to do is I want to show you the amount of wear on these frets. I've never seen this much wear on a guitar that is under 3 years old, ever. And there you go, I'm just going to get the guitar over here so I can support it nice. But can you see on these frets how much wear is there? Maybe I've got it at the wrong angle, I don't know. Let's just look at that, that's all wear. See the divots? Frets 1 to 6, 7, whatever, they all have divots. That means the wood, whatever wood this is, if it is rosewood, it's really quite soft. You shouldn't have that much wear, right up to here as well. Wow, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 frets, all the way up. So there's a lot of wear on this fingerboard, more than you would expect for a guitar that's less than 3 years old. But let's just have a look. I've got the body all polished and cleaned, and look at the frets. Those frets are absolutely beautiful. Levelled, recrowned, polished. I will have this guitar done in the next hour. All I need to do now is get some strings on, get it set up, and it will be done. Remember, we did replace the 3-way switch in there as well, which is working absolutely fine. I polished up the hardware. Stop tailpiece looks how it should look now. 24 karat gold plate, that's supposed to be. The bridge as well, also nicely polished up. So, can get it all back together, get the nut on, get some strings on. Probably have to recut the slots in this nut, so we're not finished yet. Stay tuned, back soon. And here we are, friends, and it's just gone 6 PM on a, is it Monday the 18th of March, year of our Lord 2019, and we have this beautiful, beautiful Epiphone Sheraton II Pro VS all finished. And it is a fabulous looking guitar. Look at those inlays, aren't they beautiful? Glued in neck, just fantastic, beautiful, beautiful guitar. But what do I think to it? Well, what would this cost you, this guitar? Is it £650 or £750? I can't remember. The guy I bought this in also bought me in a 100th anniversary Les Paul, Epiphone Les Paul. I think that was £750. I will tell you, so I'll get my iPad out, we're going to have a look. We're going to see what these cost. You have to bear with me a second. Epiphone I should have got this all done before I turned the camera on, shouldn't I? Sheraton Pro 2 VS search. Right, do we have a price? They're 550 quid. Well, someone's doing them at 600 quid. So these are, I'd imagine this cost about 650 quid when it came out. Epiphone Sheraton Pro 2 VS. Who knows? What's the cheapest you can get them for? I'll tell you, British Tone Music are doing them for 520. Guitar doing them for 599. PMT 520. So it's a £5,500 guitar. GAK guitar amp keyboard are doing it for 549. So it's not even that expensive a guitar, or as expensive as I thought it was. But it's still a lot of money. And when you're shelling out £550 or £600 for a guitar, you shouldn't expect for it to have a fret level within 3 years, I wouldn't have thought. Maybe it's only 12% nickel silver fret wire. Anyway, it came in. The owner was not happy with the three-way, it kept cutting out. So I've replaced the three-way. It was just an Epiphone one. I actually think these are pretty decent standard three-way switch. But they wanted it swapping out, so I went and got a couple of alphas from Northwest Guitars. I use Northwest Guitars a lot. I don't use them because they're not the cheapest, but the thing is, the quality of their gear is really quite good. And I've got to know Kev up there pretty okay. So Kev and Sam it is, I believe. Anyway, they've treated me right. I got a couple of theirs, and I've stuck one of them in there. So it's had a new three-way switch. It's had a complete fret level and a setup, an intensive setup. I've polished all of the hardware. You'll see that the tailpiece, the bridge, the pickups are beautiful. Supposed to be, is it 24 karat gold? I'm not sure. Not sure about it. It certainly was on the Les Paul. But beautiful, it's all nice and shiny. So it's had a setup, new three-way, fret level, fret polish, and that's it. And it looks fantastic. So, well done. Just back to the frets. 9 high frets. 12, was it 12 high spots over 9 high frets or something like that? I can't remember. It's been a long video, this one now. But I didn't really notice the frets needed doing until I'd done half of a setup. I just need to check again the intonation because I've set the guitar up. I've put a set of Diodario 10s on there. Boxes in the bin. But I only really buy Diodarios now. Blah, 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 blah. That's a set of 942s. I've just had to order more 1046s because I've just finished my last box. So Diodario strings are on there. It's a fine looking guitar. Pickups are pretty nice. Don't see why you have a coil split on this guitar, but you know, it will come in handy, I suppose. But that is it, all done. Just a little bit annoying about having to do the frets. You know, you want to thought so on a 3-year-old guitar, and the divots in the fingerboard after 3 years, wow, it's either had some hammer or that wood is not as good. But let's not finish on a complaint. You know, let's big this guitar out. It's a very well made guitar. It looks fantastic. The finish is superb. The electrics are fine. I was quite glad I didn't have to oink the electrics out of the F-hole because it's got those fandangled push-in connectors that Gibson and Epiphone are now using, and they are, I imagine they'd be a real nightmare to try and squeeze them out of the F-hole. You know, we'd really struggle getting those pots out, unless they are small pots. We're not 25mm or 16mm, I don't know. But I didn't have to take them out. Fortunately, the loom in there gave me enough length to work on soldering in a new 3-way without having to take any of the pots out, which is fantastic. So anyway, all done. So, it's Christian, I'm your fret friend. It is another project finished. Just before I do go and check my website, fretfriend.co.uk. I had a website built recently. It's not quite finished yet, but it's looking pretty good. Let me know what you think of that. But if you really want to find out any information, or the most information, or the best information, go to Facebook, and you want to be at facebook.com/NG17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. I'm Rich Christian. I'm your fret friend. Until next time, boys and girls, as always, God bless you. Be good to each other, and I'll see you soon.